This section of the evening was brought to you by the Rapid Response Home Shopping Network. Price is so low, it's a regular steal. Materialism for those who don't need it. My wig is currently on eBay in Idaho. Somebody, please buy it. You know, when you have open mic situations, you start digesting people's music in 5-minute chunks. And sometimes it takes a while to decide how you feel about it. I had somebody describe to me the feeling of like, I have you now. And our next performer, at some point, she just got me. And I think the only person I can ever say this about, I think maybe where I really crossed the line was her Instagram. Like, I freaking hate Instagram, but you know, like I saw something shocking I've never seen on the internet before. Like, not very much anyway. Sincerity. And when April Elle reads, like, it takes me to a place, I've described it as a mix of like having your mother read you a story, having your girlfriend read you a story while you're in the bathtub, and having just like a good old fashioned narrator like Morgan Freeman or something. Like it's so real, and like I when her voice cracks, my eyes crack, or whatever it is. Like I don't know where the words come from. It's freaking amazing, and like so. I'm so happy to have her here. April Elle. That's a E-L-L-L. Si tu veux parler en français, je parle de toi.
Just like the letter.
I thought it was Elle. I thought it was French.
That's the spelling. I was talking about the pronunciation. Hi, I'm April. I don't think I can compare to Morgan Freeman, but I'll do my best. I have a piece that I wrote last year after I went to a monastery. I'll probably explain that in the piece. So I've never done anything like this before, which is something I do a lot. So it's called Experiencing God. I want to share an experience I had on the last morning of a workshop weekend at a monastery. I'm not a Buddhist, nor do I have a regular meditation practice, but I deeply appreciated the time to sit in silence and was impressed by the deep and vivid thoughts and images that flooded my mind when I let myself be free from the distractions of living. This was the first time in my life doing anything like this that weekend. I woke up that morning with a dream that I couldn't quite grasp. I could picture myself walking, maybe contemplating, but I couldn't bring back any words or fully formed images. I had the thought that it might come back to me in the Zendo. I'm very new to this formal meditation gig, and I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to have such expectations, but being human, there I was. That morning, I grabbed extra cushions for my knees so I could sit cross-legged. The night before, when I was exhausted, I was so annoyed and uncomfortable that I couldn't drop in at all. The new posture put me more at ease, and being well-rested helped, I'm sure. My attempts at meditation have been only moderately fulfilling thus far, but I remembered something that the teacher Kozin said about how you don't do 3 mantras in the Zendo. You just try to focus on one, so I decided to try that. I learned Om Mani Padme Hum from a YouTube guru a few years before that. And it's really the only one I know besides I Am Loving Awareness. So I went with that. Breathing in and breathing out, each syllable, Om, and out, Ma, and in, Ni, and out, Pad, and in, May, and out, Hum. Sometimes changing it up to say it faster, not matching with my breath. Sometimes letting my mind wander, but not too far, always bringing it back to my mantra. And I do think of it as my mantra because it resonates, not just because it's the only one I know. Without getting too much into detail, it means jewel in the lotus, or the sublime and divine balance of perfection within. I am the jewel in the lotus, the perfect balance of dark and light. I am equally as much a part of creation as everything else and just as insignificant. I am God, and so are you, and it is everything. That's what it means to me. I sat on my mat, breathing in and breathing out, repeating my mantra. My thoughts began to wander as they are wont to do. I've learned to stop fighting the wandering thoughts and instead watch them float across my mind as an observer instead of the originator. It occurred to me that I would be back at work tomorrow night, but there was no emotion attached to the thought. I could clearly picture myself there in the hospital, standing at the nurse's station. I continued my mantra, breathing out, breathing in, Om Mani Padme Hum. I am the jewel in the lotus. I am God. I began to go about my workday in this vision. Time wasn't linear, but instead I observed myself performing all the tasks all at once, like the Flash, zipping into place from place to place while everything else stands still. I remembered in the vision that I am God, and I watched as everything I touched became anointed in golden light. I saw it like a single water drop falling from the tip of my finger and radiating out in concentric ripples, all blending together, bathing everything around me in a golden glow. Om Mani Padme Hum. One drop to the paper at the nurse's station, one to the desk, one to the coworker. I brushed their shoulder in passing. Golden light from the shoulder of my patient where I lay my hand on them. And it dawned to me then that it was God reaching out to the same God, recognizing like the golden light was coming up to meet me at the same time as I was sharing my golden light. I watched as it rippled and spread, blending together till everything was glowing golden God. In my excitement, I began to gleefully recognize each thing in my vision as God. I could see me pointing to things my eyes just happened upon and proclaiming with delight, God, paper, God, counter, God, bag of IV fluids, God, God and my coworkers, parents, also God, patients, also God, everything is God. It became loud and clanging, overpowering, like a resounding clash of cymbals banging together, drowning out all sounds till it was just the ringing in my head. God, 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 God! I was stunned by the ridiculous simplicity of how obvious it was that everything was God. I almost laughed out loud. Obviously a no-no in the silent Zendo. I noticed the people sitting now to the left and the right of me fidgeting, which had bothered me before, but this morning I had completely tuned it out up until that point. I watched the breath flow in and out of me, recognizing that every molecule in the air I breathed, the air that filled me and connected me to everyone in this room, everyone everywhere, was also God. I could see the golden light spread out around me like an aura, like I've seen before, whispering tentacles reaching out around me and connecting me with others with consciousness. This time I saw it as concentrated beams of light reaching out from my sides horizontally, appearing solid like a fence rail, stretching arms open wide, skewing the people beside me, not in an aggressive way, but just to give them support. They are also God, of course, but perhaps they just can't see it at the moment, so they're having a hard time sitting still. It's hard to be still when you don't know you're God. You always think there's something you need to do. I thought I could reach out and help hold them a bit, that maybe if they had a little support, they would be able to sit still for a moment and see that they too are God. The singing bowl rang and we moved on to a walking meditation. I followed the line of gods down the hall. Also God, and outside so much God, and back in and around. We circled the Zendo like 15 or 20 times. Outside I saw chipmunks in the sun bouncing on the garden rocks, and I giggled at the thought of these tiny little adorable gods with their chubby little cheeks filled with food that was also God. I saw God in the flowers, in the green leaves of the trees, and God in the blue sky and the fluffy clouds, God in the cold concrete under my feet and the light fixture with its wires, and and the hard cinder block walls. It was all God, and it was amazing. I hope you can see that when I speak of God, I'm not speaking of the patriarchal white father sitting in the sky on his cloud, stroking his beard and judging us all. Instead, my God is the great energy blob that is the living, breathing being that we all are. After the service, we went to the breakfast in the dining hall, still in silence except for the blessing. I was still reeling with this golden God glow. I sat at a table with 2 other ladies. I've been trying to practice mindful eating, so I slowed down my biting and chewing, and as I ate, I became very aware of all the sounds in the room. I heard the spoons clanging against the bowls, and the slurp, slurp, slurping of oatmeal into the mouths of all of these gods. And I recognized the spoons are God, and the slurpers are God, and the food and the room, it's all God. God eating God to nourish God. I looked at the women sitting with me and laughed out loud with mirth that I was sitting at a table eating oatmeal with God, and these ladies may have no idea that they're just slurping their God oatmeal and clanging their God spoons on their God bowls while they eat breakfast with God, who they also are. Then again, maybe they see it too. It is still with me to this day. I look around at everything I see, and God's face is looking back at me. I see it in the people with their God faces, God arms, and God teeth. I see God in the green grass and the tall trees, all of us breathing in and breathing out, the same God air, God filling the spaces between us till we're all one, right here. That's what I have. Thank you.